Hello students, welcome to video session. Let us learn something new today. In today's class, let us study in detail about what actually the subject is, that is strength of materials. Students, this is a subject that comes in a third semester of mechanical engineering. So first let us understand the definition of a strength. With the definition, what the definition says is it's an ability of an object or a body to withstand load or a force. Students, here we need to understand the two important words, that is body and a load. So body means any material that is under study, we call it as a body. And a force is the load that is acting on a body is called as a force. To understand this, let us take an example. If we are studying a chair, then the chair becomes a body. Then what the load is? If I sit on a chair, then my entire weight that is acting on a chair, that becomes a load. Next, let us understand the definition of a material. The material is a substance or mixture of substance that makes an object. Students, any material is made up of some substance. Anything that is visible to our eyes is made up of some substance. That substance is called as a material. There are different types of a material like wood, metal, plastic. It comes under polymers. There are many examples of a material, different types of a material. So while dealing with the definition of strength, we have taken an example of a chair. Chair is a body and the weight acting on a chair is a load. Now the chair may be made up of a plastic or a wood. Then that plastic or a wood is called as a material. So this is what the main meaning of a strength and material. Students, strength is indirectly we can say, that is directly or indirectly we can say it as it's a capacity of a material or capacity of an object to withstand a load. If an object has a more capacity to withstand a load, then it has got a high strength. If it has less capacity, then definitely it has a less strength. So now let us understand what actually we study in our syllabus. So in our subject, what we'll study in the subject? So we will study behavior of an object when subjected to an external loading. Students, just now I have taken a chair as a body which is under study. Now I need to study the behavioral changes of a chair when it is subjected to an external loading. So this is what the main theme behind our subject, that is the strength of materials. Students, in this slide, we came to know what actually the definition of strength and material, and also we have came to know about what actually we are going to study in the subject. Now let's move to the next slide. Before going to the subject in depth, we need to understand the basic terms along with its units. So first let us understand the basic terms one by one. The first basic term that we will going to encounter is length. Its SI unit is mm. Next, the second term is area, with its units are mm square. Next, third is volume. Its unit is mm cube. Next, moment of inertia. Its units are mm power 4. Next, the force, load or weight, all the three has got same units, that is Newton. It is written in terms of a capital letter N. And the next unit, that is stress, Newton per mm square. It's one of the very important term that is repeatedly used in our subject. And one more is strain. Strain, it has no units. There are no units for strain. So next is Young's modulus. It's one of the very important property, very important term. It has units as Newton per mm square. And the next is Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio has no units. Students, these are the very important basic terms that we repeatedly use in our subject. Students, one thing we need to focus here is the strain and Poisson's ratio has no units. Students, this is all about the basic terms and their units. Students, the main important concept that we are going to study is the force. The force is main reason for everything. So let us understand what actually the force is. So with the definition, we can clearly understand the force is an external agent acting on a body which tends the body to have a motion or change the direction of a motion or stop the motion. Students, from this definition, we can clearly understand that the force is an external agent. External agent is nothing but the force that is acting from outside the body. And now let us understand this words that are in terms of it is mentioned in a different color. Have the motion, change the direction of a motion, or stop the motion. So main theme is the force is external agent. That is the main reason. That is the main reason. That is the main reason to have a motion, and it is the main reason to change the direction of a motion. It is the main reason to stop the motion. Let us study one by one how the force is responsible to have a motion. So let us study one by one. Students, in this first clip, it's an animated clip. You can clearly understand, we can clearly understand with this animated clip, there is a football. Earlier, there is a football which is under rest on a ground. And what the player will do, the player will kick the football. So once he kick the football, then the ball is set in a motion. Students, now the football is in a motion because the football player has applied a force, on the football. So here, which is the response? What is the main reason for making the football into a motion? That is a force applied by the football player. Now let us see how the force is responsible to change the direction of a motion. This is another animated clip, students. Students, in this animated clip, we can clearly understand that a bowler is bowling a ball. That is, the ball is moving from direction from bowler to batsman. What the player is doing, what the batsman is doing, a batsman will hit a six. When he hit the six, then the ball will move from the batsman direction to bowler direction. Just you compare the direction from bowler to batsman and batsman to bowler. Students, here the main reason to change the direction of a ball is the player hitting a six. When he hits a ball through his bat, then directly he is applying a force on a ball. That is why the direction of a ball gets changed. So once again, here the force is responsible for changing the direction of a motion. And let us understand how the force is responsible to stop a motion. Let's see one more animated clip. Let us see one more animated clip. Students, in this animated clip, what the player is doing, he is defending the ball bowled by a bowler. When he applies a force, when the batsman applies a force, then immediately the ball gets stopped. That is, the motion of a ball is stopped. So here, once again, the force is responsible. The batsman, he applies the force to defend the ball. So that force is responsible to stop the motion. Students, in all the three animated clips, it is very clear that the force is responsible for everything. So in the first clip, we can clearly understand that this force is responsible to have a motion. In the second clip, we can clearly understand that this force is responsible for changing the direction of a motion. And in the third clip, it is very clear that the force is responsible to stop the motion. So that is why the force is very important concept in our subject. Students, in the next slide, let us clearly study what the force is in different terms. Here, the force can also be described as a pull force, or pull force, tensile force, or push force. It's also called as a compressive force. It's very important, students. These are the technical terms. Tensile force and compressive force are the technical terms, whereas pull force and push force are generally used terms. Whenever you go for to a restaurant or any hotels or anywhere, there is a marking like a pull or a push on the doors, pull or a push. So you can clearly observe that. First, let us study what actually the pull is nothing but what actually the push is nothing but. First, we need to understand the directions. So students, let us clearly understand pull is nothing but, pull or tensile force is nothing but the two forces that are acting away from the center. Students, just observe these two blue color arrow marks. One is these two are acting away from the center. This is the center. The two forces are acting away from the center. Such condition is called as a tensile force. Such forces are called as a tensile force. Students, let us understand one more force, that is compressive force. Compressive force is nothing but two forces acting towards the object, two equal and opposite forces that are acting towards the object or towards the center. Students, simple how to identify whether it is a pull force or a push force. Very simple. If the forces are acting towards the body, then it is a compressive force. If the two forces are acting away from the body, then it is a tensile force. It's very simple. Next, let us see the example. Let us see an example. Let's see an example of a tensile force or a compressive force. Students, here there are two persons and there is one more material like elastic in nature. This is a material that is elastic in nature. Elastic in nature is nothing but whenever you apply force, it gets extended. Its length gets increased. So here there are two persons who are pulling the elastic material on both the sides. Here I can clearly understand with the help of arrow marks what kind of a force they are applying. They are applying tensile force because the two forces are acting away from the center. What happens when the two persons, when they apply the tensile force, then its length gets increased and whereas its diameter gets reduced. This is the best example for the tensile force. Here what you need to focus is the direction of a force. You need to mainly focus here the direction of a force. What is the direction of a force? The direction is the two forces are acting away from the center. Now let's come back to the compressive force. It's the best example for the compressive force. There is one more elastic member, and what the two persons are doing, they are applying the force from both the sides, and I want you to focus mainly the direction of the force. What's the direction of the force? The direction is towards the center. The two persons are applying the load, they are applying the force in such a way that the force is acting towards the center. So this kind is called as a compressive force. This is an example for the compressive force. Students, is it clear? It's very simple. In case of tensile force, the two forces are acting away from the body. In case of compressive force, the two forces are acting towards the body. Okay, students, now let's understand one of the very important concept, that is whenever, very important point, whenever a force or a load is applied on a body, then immediately the two terms that should flash into your mind, that is the two important terms is stress and strain. So whenever you apply a load on any object, then there stress is induced. The stress will be induced and strain is produced, and strain is produced. This is very, very important concept, students. Whenever you apply a load on any material, then the stress will be induced and strain will be produced. Okay. Now let's move on to the next slide. Let us understand what actually the stress is. In the previous slide, just we came to know that whenever we apply a load or a force, then stress will be induced and strain is produced. Let us study one by one what actually the stress is. So with the definition, I can clearly understand stress is nothing but internal resistive force per unit cross-sectional area. It is defined as an internal resistive force per unit cross-sectional area. Let us see what actually the resistive force and what actually the cross-sectional area is. First, let us understand what do you mean by the cross-sectional area. First, let us understand this concept. Students, in this animated clip, there are two objects, students. One is a cylindrical rod and one more is a rectangular bar. So students, the one that is in purple color is a cylindrical rod and the one that is in a blue color is a rectangular bar. This is a cylindrical rod. Purple color is in cylindrical rod. Blue one is called as a rectangular bar. So next what I'll do, I will section these two objects. I will section these two objects. This is a cutting plane. The yellow one that is moving is called as a cutting plane or section plane that cuts an object into two pieces. Exactly, see here, the section plane is cutting the two objects. So once the section plane is cut, then I will get a shape. I will get the area that is called as a sectional area. So it is clearly understood this part is called as a sectional area. This is the sectional area. Again, the sectional area will be the same circular in shape, and for this rectangular bar, the sectional area will be in rectangular cross section. So this is a cross sectional area. So now let us understand what actually the resistive force is and what actually the stress is. First, let us take an object. That is rectangular in shape. So now let us draw the axis. Let us draw the axis of for this object. Once I get the axis, I will apply the load on both the sides. Here, in this case, I am applying the tensile load. Even you can apply the compressive load also. But in this case, in this example, I am applying a tensile load of magnitude P. So how can I say that I am applying a tensile load? Very simple. I should analyze with the help of a direction. That two forces are acting away from the body. Two equal and opposite forces acting away from the body. Then such forces are called as a tensile force or tensile load. Okay. So once I apply the tensile load, then the stress will be induced. To understand this, I need to take one reference plane. This is an object anywhere. In the object, I will take one sectional plane, one reference plane. So for this, I will take one plane, reference plane. So that is represented with the orange color. So simple. This is the plane which is under study. So now let us apply the force applied on this side. The same force will be acting on this plane also. So that is represented with the arrow marks. Now what object will do? So now right now I am applying a load on an object. Now what object will do? Object will apply a resistive force in turn to my applied force, where this is the force that is marked, represented in a blue color is applied force. Now what the material will do? Material will be having certain properties, where strength is one of its property. With the help of a strength, it will apply a resistive force. And resistive force will be there in such a way that it is opposite in nature to the applied force. Students, you can clearly observe the force that is represented with the green color is called as a resistive force. This resistive force is opposite to the applied force. This resistive force per unit cross-sectional area. This is the cross-section. Orange color representation is cross-sectional, that is under study. This resistive force per unit cross-sectional area is called as a stress. Okay, students. So here, what you need to focus, mainly focus is this part. This entire part is very important. This is the part very important, where orange color is called as where a line represented with the orange color is called as a sectional plane. Then the blue color force is called as applied force. Once you apply a force on a body, what body will do? The body will try to resist that force. How it will resist? By applying a resistive force. Why it will resist? It will resist because of many reasons, and one of the reason is because of its property called as called strength. Each and every material has its own strength. Because of its strength, it will resist the applied force. This resistive force per unit cross-sectional area is called as a stress. And it is represented with the formula F is equals to P by A. F is equals to P by A. Okay, students, this is all about the stress.